Hi, my name is Ethan Townsend. I'm with Answer Investments. Our team consists of John Nicholas, Alan Smith, myself, and Ray Wickham. So, who are we? The Answer Company specializes in selling the popular muesli cereal to DC-12 and DC-14 store chains. We specialize in 500-gram boxes in strawberry, mix, nut, raisin, and blueberry lines. So, moving on from there, our focus is 500-gram premium muesli products containing 30% of the ingredients that customers want. The company's primary customers are small stores in the DC-14 store chain, so marketing costs will be high. Therefore, the company will need to run lean, controlling costs internally to maintain better margins and profit, as well as lower sales. The business will provide 3 to 4 products at a time in large volumes. Therefore, the switchover times and large per-day capacity is required. So, going on from there, our key performance indicators are stock, gross margin, and overall production efficiency. It will be expected that stock is not building up through each production run cycle. With no safety stock, it is to be exhausted by the time the next run is getting into the warehouse. Any carryover from the previous lot will trigger the need for marketing dollars to be increased or the product cost to be lowered to ensure we don't have excess stock. So in terms of gross margin, it will be expected that products being sold maintain a profit margin at or above $2. This falling below $1.50 will be evaluated for alteration or removal. The initial gross profit anticipated to be is 50% for nut, blueberry, and over 60% for raisin. The production upgrades we plan to purchase at the beginning of our run include an 8-hour setup time. This will allow our company to operate extremely efficiently. We expect our production efficiency to be greater than or equal to 90%. This level of efficiency will allow us to maximize revenue and therefore net profit. So going on from there, we have a couple tools that will help us achieve this. This is our cost and net profit tool. From here, we actually create a visual of total cost and net profit for each product that will allow management to be proactive if product changes need to be made, and this will give us the ability to reach target margin levels. This conceptual tool generates a chart for each of the products week to week that we are currently selling. Within each chart are weekly figures depicting profit, other costs, marketing, variable, and fixed expenses. Each cost will have its own color so the user can distinguish between the different costs incurred. In order for us to benefit from this tool, we will need to be able to extract specific data from our ERP system. This vital data includes average allocated fixed costs, variable costs, other costs, marketing costs, and overall profit for associated with every product line. Moving on from there, we actually have a productivity analysis tool. We have a daily productivity graph, quarterly productivity, and snapshot averages associated with everything that we do. So, this tool will give us a visualization of daily productivity versus plant capacity and quarterly productivity versus target. This will allow our management to monitor efficiency and make necessary adjustments if we are not meeting our expectations. This conceptual tool generates 3 different items. The first is an area graph that charts the last quarter's daily productivity and compares it to the plant's total capacity. The second is a bar graph that charts the average productivity for the last 6 quarters and compares it to the set target of 90%. And the last component is the tool will create is a snapshot average the user will have with numeric values for prior day, prior week, and historical production efficiency. So moving on from there, from our initial business plan, we had a few changes in strategy as the market kind of matured. So we shifted from 100,000 per product run to 140,000. We experimented with original and mixed lines. We increased marketing and exchange in our acceptable gross margin. So the reason why we shifted, we added more production in Q1 to bring us up to 30,000 units per day to increase available product to sell, and also to reduce costs by creating an economy of scale. At the start of Q2, we went up to 35,000 to increase market penetration. We also increased production run cycles from 100 to 140,000 to accommodate the additional daily production. So in terms of experimentation, we did experiment with the original and mixed product lines due to our diminishing gross margin of all our main lines falling below $1.50. We ended up adding strawberry and mixed lines to this. Also, in terms of marketing, we went up from a 2% marketing expense to an average 6% marketing expense. This was to target the DC-14 stores, which are more sensitive to marketing and then therefore attempt to gain more market share. We took all of our lines that were still profitable after standard costs and continued running them. We did this instead of relying on our gross margin KPI, which is the final line. So, how did we do? So in terms of forecast sales versus actual sales, forecasted sales are depicted in red, actual sales are depicted in green. So on here, raisin, nut, and blueberry all have 900,000, 900,000, and 950,000 respectively. So in terms of raisin, we actually did 421,000, nut was 745,000, blueberry was 768,000, strawberry was 728,000, and mixed was $164,000. So in terms of how we did against our forecasted amount of $2.75 million, we actually ended up a little bit better than that at $2.826 million for overall sales. So these next two graphs depict production and market share. Once again, forecasted is depicted in red, actual is depicted in green, and of course is the overall market share depicted in green over here. So forecasted production was at 200,000, 200,000, and 200,000 for blueberry, nut, and raisin. Strawberry and mixed are not on this graph in terms of our original projections because we didn't plan on running them. But that being said, our actuals for raisin were 140,000, nut was 320,000, blueberry 390,000, strawberry 249,000, and mixed is not on this graph mainly because we finished our overall production in quarter 5. So in terms of market share, granted, these numbers are in the 500 gram market, not the overall market, so we decided to do that to kind of show our strength. So raisin was at 23%, nut was at 22%, blueberry was at 58%, strawberry at 41%, mixed was at 60% market share for the mixed 500 gram. Our total market share, including 1 kilogram and half kilogram boxes, was actually at 15%. This was 2% over our original projections at 13%. And then finally, the 500 gram market, we ended up controlling 34% of the 500 gram market, which gives us a pretty sizable lead. So in terms of production capacity, in the last 3 quarters we were in line with our production capacity KPI and maintained 90% utilization overall. We ended quarter 6 with 91.67% utilization. So this is depicted in this graph right here. Right here is our overall production line, so that's the max value, and the green here shows how often we hit that. So why should you continue to invest in us? We are depicted here in terms of our net income sheet as Team X. Team R is right over here. They're our closest competitor. We ended up with 4.8 million, and they ended up with about 4.2 million, a little over that. So to dig down a little bit deeper in that, our net income in quarter 1 was 756,000. We were 3rd overall out of all the teams. In quarter 2, we were 1.2 million, 1st overall, with our closest competitor being 10,000 behind us. Quarter 3 was 944,000. Closest competitor was 40,000 behind us. Quarter 4, 727,000, 1st overall, closest competitor 87,000 behind us. Quarter 5, 557,000, 1st overall, closest competitor at 137,000 behind us, and quarter 6, 636,000. At the end of our run, we had an income total of 4,828,692, and we were 1st overall with our closest competitor falling over $579,000 behind us. So that's our overall presentation. Our tale is one of consistency and one of continued gain within the market. We have a controlling stake in the 500 gram market, and we continue to capitalize on that. So shifting from that over to the DC, what we learned over the simulation is that we needed to increase production capacity first and fast, so that we would pay a little bit on interest, but we still have that ability to gain market share. On top of that, we needed to advertise a little bit more, so increase marketing expenses, and of course we needed to expand our lines from just the original because we couldn't rely on those gross margins, and we had to expand to the 2 additional being strawberry and mixed. So we went from 3 to 5. So thank you for your time.